Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to Real Talk with Mary Grace. It is election eve. Good to see you here. Please share this. Please invite, follow, turn on notifications, subscribe, like, hit the hearts. Looks like everybody's coming in. I'm Mary Grace. I'm coming to you live on Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, and Cloud Hub. And you can follow me on all of those channels, or you can go directly to my website, marygracemedia.com, and you can watch on the website. I hope everybody's having a good evening. And I, Larry just said, I saw you on TV. So, yep, this is, I don't know how long my broadcast is going to be tonight. I just got home from being in North Carolina at the Trump rally in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So, welcome everybody here. And I am just going to give you guys a little bit of an update about everything that happened today. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of a pep talk going into election day, and hopefully that will help. I probably will answer some questions as well. So, yeah, the president just went live in Wisconsin, and I decided to go live now because he has another rally later tonight in Michigan, and so I want to be able to watch that. And so um so that was behind my decision. And I just got back, really, I literally just got back from North Carolina. As you know, some of you watched last night, and I went to North Carolina. I drove to North Carolina and I stayed overnight, and I went directly to the rally venue when I got there, and I did a live stream and I showed everybody the setup. And so if you didn't get to see that, I recommend that you go back and watch that. And it was really fun. It was really neat to be there. And then I went to the hotel, and I got a little bit of sleep, not much. And the exciting thing is that I may actually be in DC tomorrow night for the election watch party in a very special location. So I will let you know if that happens. Where can you watch the rallies online? You can go to Real America's Voice TV on YouTube or Periscope. You can also go to RSBN on Periscope or YouTube, and they do leave them up so you can watch the replays. Uh, yeah, so it was yeah, it was really fun. I gotta tell you, I just have been pondering the goodness of God and the favor of God, because I was thinking about okay, someone else said C-SPAN. Yeah. So I was thinking about just the other uh just I was just thinking about um I was thinking about um 5 years ago what I was doing, and it wasn't even remotely close to what I'm doing right now. And there was, I don't want to go into detail about everything, but suffice it to say, I was sitting at the rally today, and I was in the front row. I don't know if you saw my scope this morning. I did a brief broadcast before the rally started, and I was literally right there. I mean, I was in the seat right in front of the president, and I was given this pass to get in. I wanted to show you this. Um, okay, so yeah, I was given this pass, and this is the hold on. There's a lot of trolls. The Biden Harris trolls are out in force right now, so I'm going to be doing a lot of insta blocking. Yeah, okay, so this is what I got. And I didn't know when I got it that that it was basically the key to unlock almost any door. It didn't put me backstage, but it was the kind of thing where you walk along and you're okay. Like for example, we went to get food and we came back, and the path there were tons of people everywhere, and so we went around to the side, and we said we're trying to get back up to the front, and and so um and so all you do is you go like this and then somebody appears and just goes, okay, come this way. Yeah, it was really funny. And then we were at this airfield, and we normally, when you have this special access, there's a hospitality tent. And I think because the rallies are have been put on so quickly that they didn't have time to do that. But they did have the private aviation terminal, which was right there. And so we had access to that. So it was warm in there and they had coffee and water and bathrooms. It was just, it was really neat. And that's where all the special police were hanging out, and all the airport police. It was just kind of their little, hangout area. And so that was fun. And it was just one of those things where you just, you know, you just look around and go, this is crazy. I mean, this is so amazing that I'm here, and just to be able to see the president that close. And at the very end, I was videotaping him, and I was videotaping him, and he was doing the YMCA dance, boom, 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 right? And then he turned around and he looked at our section, and we made brief eye contact. It was the coolest thing. I just was so happy. And then I got this really good picture of him up close. I'll show you. Um, so I have a doomsday prophet in my chat. I wish that you wouldn't go there, Adam. We don't need concerned trolls. Really, we don't. Um, so if you could just back off, that would be great. Because we're here to celebrate. We're here to celebrate the goodness of our president. No, I didn't get to meet him. It wasn't one of those situations um, where there weren't. It wasn't a meet and greet. I saw the team. So Mark Meadows was right there. Hope Hicks was right there, and then in the back, Jared Kushner was there. Kaylee McEnany was there. Who else was there? Somebody else. His basic, his core team was there, and so that was pretty cool. And there were a lot of people who are with him all the time, like people who go to his rallies all the time. He mentioned these women that go, and it was their 65th rally. And I don't know if you guys know Lee Valentine. I saw her there, and I didn't see Scavino. Ivanka wasn't there. Scavino might have been there. I just didn't see him. And but there's this group of women that go to all of his rallies, and they've been, to over like 65. And then I saw hey Joe. And then I saw Lee Valentine. I don't know if you know her. She used to be on QVC actually. And she's really sweet, and I hadn't seen her in a while. So that was fun. That was fun to meet up with her. Here's a picture. Here's Lee Valentine. It's a little bit no, they're not housewives. Um Aaron, Adam, you're still being a concerned troll. So I'm sorry I got your name wrong, but please stop. Okay. So that is Lee Valentine with me. You guys recognize her? She used to do a lot of periscopes. Okay. So yeah, it was really cool. And so I got to see her, and she's really sweet. And then the other picture that I got that I wanted to show you that was really cool was this one. Um there were a lot of kids. There were some kids sitting near us, and it was really neat because when we were all waiting for POTUS to come off of Air Force One, everybody was lining the fence. Yes, cosmetics. Lee Valentine has her own line of cosmetics on QVC. Yeah, and so anyway, these kids were all lined at the fence right in the very front, waiting and watching for POTUS to come off of Air Force One. And that was so exciting because I took a picture because it was, it's the future. And this is why he does it. And I wanted to show you this picture because it was just so neat because they're really, look at them, look how intent they are, these little boys. They're really sweet. See that? Isn't that cool? Just waiting for their president. And so that was really, really neat. And one of them I think is like 12 or 13, the other one's maybe 9. And so that was neat. And then this other picture that I got of him I really liked. And that's this one. Hold on. So here's this one. Yeah, Lee Valentine used to do Your Voice America. That's right. All right. So look at this one. So doesn't he look great? Look at him. Isn't that neat? So that's how close I was with my iPhone. It's so fun. And so he looked great. I mean, he was so excited, and it was really neat. I was listening to Kat Kerr today, and she was talking about, she was with Steve Schultz on Elijah Streams, and you guys like that picture? I'll put it up on Twitter so you can save it. Yeah. So, but he was talking. They were saying something really interesting. In 2016, people went to the Trump rallies because they wanted to see what he was about, and there was enthusiasm and excitement, and people were really hopeful that this was going to be, the person that would dig us out of this ditch and help drain the swamp. But they were still kind of reticent. And so this time it's changed. It's completely changed. It's gone from that to just pure love. And people are so enthusiastic about him now. They're going because they love him. And people are going to these rallies out of love. And nothing has ever happened like this in the history of our country. And it's amazing because we've never had a politician or even a rock star where people have just chanted, "We love you, we love you," and they do it over and over and over again. And it's true love. It's deep love. And I think it's even bigger than rock star status because he is not doing this for his own personal fame. He's doing it for love of you and me and your children and their future. And that's what makes it so special, is that it's love for our country, it's love for your future, it's love for peace. It's not somebody up there just, bringing all the glory to himself. Now he has a good time and he has a good ego and he enjoys, being he enjoys, he has a good sense of humor. He enjoys all that, but that's not really the driving force. I mean, he said it, um, over and over. He said, I didn't have to do this. I didn't have to do this. I could have retired. I could have spent time with my grandchildren and been on the golf course. And so, he's really doing this. This is an act of love. It's an act of love for our country, and it's an act of love for generations, for nations and generations. And I remember hearing that one of the things that happened to him one of the things that happened to him when he was traveling the country during 2016 is that he really started to understand and connect to the people in a way that he had never done before. Because, being a New Yorker, and being, in the entertainment industry and the real estate industry, he knew certain segments and pockets of people, but he really had never spent time in the heartland. He hadn't talked to farmers. He hadn't talked to steel workers and things like that. Even though he had talked to, people, blue collar workers, and spent time with them on the construction sites and things. But he really started to get a feel for the heart of America. And the thing that was happening to him during that time is that people were coming up to him, and they didn't want his autograph. They just wanted to thank him for running for president. And that really hit home with him, that that's what really changed his heart and deepened his love for America, is that the people were just so thankful that he was running. And this is the story that he tells of the steelworkers, that these people, these men who have been in many times generations of steelworkers, came up to him and said, thank you. You gave us our life back. You gave us our life back, and you gave us our future back. And that's what we see with him. And when the people shout, we love you, you can tell it really touches him. He says thank you very much. And it's just, I think it's very humbling for him. And he really truly is a man of the people. And I was somebody told me a story today about an event that happened out in California a couple weeks ago. He did a big fundraiser out there, and a private, it was like a private event for some congressional candidates, and that kind of thing. And it was in San Diego, Southern California, and it was on a waterfront area, waterfront property. And it was one of those things where they spent like 2 days preparing the area. And so by the time it got going, the people, local people, knew that it was going to happen. This was recently. And so he um so so the Secret Service, even though it was outside, they insisted that they have barricades, like curtains up, to protect the president so that nobody could see him. So even though it was on this beautiful, hillside, cliffside, waterfront property, the Secret Service said, it's too dangerous. There's no way we can vet people. Because what happened was that all the local people were starting to have boat parades. We're starting to have boat parades around the area in the water, in anticipation of the president coming to do this event, because word was getting out. And so the Secret Service put the kibosh on it, because they said, we can't vet these people who are out in the water in boats. We don't have time. Because this event was put together in 2 days. It was one of those events that was sold during the big fundraising push we did. And um and and so they had to put it off because he got COVID, and then they put it together again, and it all came together. So here's what happened. So I was talking to somebody who was at the event, and they said that he did the talk, and then, he knew that all these people were outside in the boats. And so what did he do? He went through the curtain outside on the patio and waved at all the people in the boats. And the Secret Service was freaking out. They're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So, I mean, he has angels all around him, but it's just the sweetest thing, because he just, he knows that the people are there for him. He knows who put him in office, and he knows why he's doing this. It's not just for the mega donors, even though they were there to raise millions of dollars. It's because of the people. He's doing it for the people. And so, the poor Secret Service, they're just like I mean, to be in that situation, it's like a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs, like, what are we gonna do? We gotta protect POTUS. And so that's what happened. But it's a pretty good story, isn't it? And then the other thing that I thought was really cool from last night was that he was doing his rally in Miami, I think. And and this woman kept talking to him, Joan, and he said, he said to her, he looks over, he goes, "You're trying to have a conversation with me, aren't you?" And she goes, "I'm Joan from the Brooklyn Club or something." And he repeats it. He goes, "Joan from the Brooklyn Club." And he goes, "How about you just let me finish this, okay, darling?" And he went into total New Yorkerese, you know, but it was like this one-on-one thing. And he just slipped into, you know, "I'm Donald from Queens, and I'm just saying, you know, darling, would you just let me finish this?" It was so, to me, it was such a personal moment, right? "Would you mind if I just continue this?" And then he calls her darling, right? But it was like he was right back in New York. So cool. I just thought that was really neat. And so anyway, it was pretty special. Pretty special. And let me see. What else did I want to tell you all? Okay. Uh it looks like I got rid of my concern troll, so that was good. Trying to tell us that everybody was going to be locked in their basements forever. Ugh. Well. All right. Did I mention that I am Mary Grace, and I am live, and you're watching me on Periscope and YouTube and Facebook and Clout Hub. So if you're not following or subscribed on those platforms, please do that. Make sure you do that. Also, you can go to my website, marygracemedia.com. You can watch me live there, and you can also support the show by clicking on support. And you can click my support link to support the show, to partner with me, or you can send me a message, info@marygracemedia.com. You can get my Venmo link, you can get my post office box, and then you can also buy superfoods from me, and you can get a coupon for organic green superfoods, and you can get over $100 off of a 1 month supply. So don't forget about that, because I am fueled by superfoods. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps my brain going and my body. And it is important for everybody to be healthy, because we have a long fight ahead of us. And so going into the holidays, place an order. If you ordered before and you haven't reordered, this is the time to do that. You can still use the same, you can, blah, 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 I still get credit. Okay. So again, superfoods, get a coupon from me. It is info@marygracemedia.com. You can get $100 or more off of your first month's supply of superfoods. This is the best quality you're going to find. Forget GNC, forget Whole Foods, get it directly from me. It gets delivered right to your door. You don't have to deal with all the crazy people at Whole Foods and the mask Nazis. Okay. So that's my pitch for that. Now I'm going to get back to the show. Donald, you want superfoods? You know how to get them. You wrote to me. Um, yeah, write to me. I'll give you the voucher. It's a voucher. I do respond to my emails. Yeah. All right. So now the voting tomorrow. Who's going to vote in person tomorrow? Who's going to vote in person tomorrow? I'm not going to talk about the hammer because I don't really know about it, and that's not why I'm broadcasting today. I see it in the chat, but yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, I just know that God's got this. That's what I know. So, all right, so here's some encouragement for you, okay? Now, if you already voted, go to the polls and be an observer and make sure they don't get away with any monkey business. Right. Now, if you're voting tomorrow, here's what I wanted to tell you. Please be prepared. Hold on. Barley wants to see you guys. Hold on. All right, hold on. Let me get my cat. Come here. He's getting so big, you guys. Look. Um, Now, all right, look. Barley says vote. Now, look at him. Can you hear him purring? He was talking back to me the other day. Seriously, he was getting in trouble, and I fussed at him, and he went like this. He went. Okay, so here's some good advice for for voting. Be prepared to be in line. So that means a couple of things. Dress warmly. Most of the lines are outside. Um, bring water, bring a snack, bring a chair if you need it, and be just be prepared to be out there. Bring a book, because your phone battery might not last if you're online for the whole time. So be prepared to be out there. Be prepared to stay and not leave. All right. Don't leave. Stay, because they might try to make it hard, especially if you're in a Democrat area and you do not want to give up. You want to stay the whole time. Um, okay, so somebody in North Carolina said you can be a poll greeter. All right. The deadline to be an observer is past. I know, look how big he is. Now he's biting me. Um, yeah, so you can do that. Now, um, he's very mouthy. Ouch. Okay, so make sure you stay. Yeah, bring your snacks, bring your gear, just be prepared to be there, all right? Um, and if you can take off work, do that, or half a day or whatever. Do not leave. They want you to leave. Republicans are known for turning out in high numbers on election day. The Democrats know that. And so if you're in an area where you feel like they're going to try some monkey business, don't get out of line. Don't leave your place. And remember, you can't wear MAGA gear to the polls. You can wear wear red, but you can't wear political gear. All right. Um, Listen, the other thing is, don't worry. We've got this. What we want to do now is we want to bring it home. We want to bring every state home. We want to bring in the popular vote. We want to make sure that the president wins by a decisive margin, that there is absolutely no question. There's no question. All right. Um, and if you observe something untoward at your polling place, make sure you whip out your phone and videotape it, and put it. What should people do if they observe something fishy at their polling location? I wish Kelly was on here so she could tell us. For sure, contact the Secretary of State in your state. Okay. And then the registrar, anybody having to do with the Board of Elections, make sure you get evidence if you see anything that is fishy. Okay. Now, yeah, wear red for sure. Just yeah. Now, what else was I going to tell you? Okay, don't worry about violence. The president has deployed the National Guard. The president has deployed the National Guard in multiple states around the country. What is an example? Um, I'm a little bit tired, so I'm having a hard time thinking of an example. Okay, there's an 800 number just for reporting election fraud. So, like election interference, if they're making it hard for people to access the polling location, if people are being harassed or intimidated, if there are any groups outside of the polling place who are intimidating voters. That happens a lot in Philadelphia. For example, Black Lives Matter. If they show up at a polling place, okay, somebody says report it immediately at the precinct you're at. For example, there is a polling place that I saw online that has Black Lives Matter flags right outside, right on the building. That's not okay. That needs to be reported. Okay, so look in the chat for examples, but that's an example. So do not be intimidated. Do not worry about violence. Make sure you're there. Um, I don't know about specific areas. If you're concealed carry, you might be able to do that, but just use wisdom. Okay, exercise wisdom. Don't go looking for trouble. Just go get your vote done and go home. um, so yeah. Now, uh, here's the thing. Oh my goodness, Kelly, did you know I was talking about you? Can you give us some examples of election interference or things that people might be, thank you, Larry, of things that people want to look for at their polling location in case they need to report it? That's what we've been talking about just now. Okay. So, yeah. Oh, now I want to give you some specifics about certain states. So I've been, hey Kelly, so I've been talking to people in different states about kind of what's going on and what it's looking like. I've talked to people in California. Thank you, Larry. I've talked to people in California who are telling me that they are very optimistic about that state going red, which is amazing. I have friends in Hawaii who are saying that the support for the president there is off the charts. Now, I don't know that it's going to go red yet because I don't think they've tackled the depth of the corruption in Hawaii, but it's a really good start. And then Arizona, I feel like Arizona is safe. Uh, and What else? Arizona people, you have a whole boatload of judges on the ballot. So do your homework before you go because there's like 30 judges to vote for. I did find out that from somebody who already voted. So just be careful about that. Is it legal to conceal carry to a poll? I don't know the answer to that question. It may be on a state by state basis because the polling places are governed at a local level. I believe that Florida is okay. All right, Kelly just put up a website. Contact defendyourballot.org for anything and file a complaint. So don't, if you're not sure, go ahead and file a complaint. All right. Um, but the main thing is get out and vote. Do not be intimidated. Something that I noticed um, that I think is really going to work in our favor is that, okay, so that website, Kelly said, that website, defendyourballot.org, is run by the campaign and they have lawyers standing by. So this is really important to understand because the president's team, the campaign has lawyers in every state, and they are ready to they are ready and willing and able to defend your vote and to defend the integrity of this election for you. Okay. Okay. So someone from Georgia was stopped from bringing a firearm. Yeah. You'll have to check that at the local level. All right. Um, it depends. So I can't answer that question. I wish I could. Now, let me go back to the different things. Now, okay, so Kelly says they will immediately take action. It's better to contact them instead of your local Republican Party. Defendyourvote.org. Can you put that in the chat again? That's really good to know. Now, let me tell you something else that I think is really going to hurt the Democrats. I already told you that they have this massive, Democrat early vote turnout, right? Well, one of the things that they're not counting on is that the Democrats that are going to vote aren't necessarily voting Democrat. There are many crossovers who are voting Republican. There are also many undecideds and undeclareds and independents who we know are voting Republican. There is something called the monster vote, which is those people that never get polled, that never get asked, and that don't talk about their vote. A big component, a big part of that group is the non-college educated white male. So that's the military, the blue collar, the mechanics, the trades, the truckers, the first responders, that kind of thing. Those are people that, in many cases, in the past have been Democrats, and the Democrats are failing them, and their jobs have left the country because of Democrat policies. And so and these are, a lot of them are men. So they're men. They don't talk about politics. They don't answer polls. They don't pick up the phone when somebody tries to poll them. They go to work, they work hard, they take care of their families, they go to their kids' games, they have dinner, they go on vacations, they come home and probably want to watch a couple of shows or, do something with their kids, go to their kids' sports, right? And they're not talking about politics, but they want, um, he's so cute. They want a better future for their kids. They want to protect their kids' future. And they're voting. And some of them are voting for the first time. And then the other thing that's happened, the other thing that happens is that that a lot of people of color are voting for this president. Yeah, your brother is a trucker and says that Trump is their choice. Yeah, the truckers are voting for Trump for the most part. Kelly just said the website was given to me by Jenny Thomas, Justice Clarence Thomas's wife. So that's important. There's Barley. Yep, a lot of Michigan auto workers are voting red. These are people that used to vote Blue Dog Democrat down the line with the unions, and they're fed up, and they're seeing the president bring back their jobs. So this is important to know. And I told you the other day about some people that, hey, Mary. Yeah, I told you, actually, one of my sources is here. So my friend Mary, her family has a farm in Pennsylvania, and they're, Blue Dog Democrats, and the Democrats are killing their industry. And so, oh, he's biting me. I got to put him down. Stop. Okay. Um, he just sunk his fangs in my hand. Now, so this is important because this is happening all over. Yeah. So Pennsylvania is where these farmers are that I just mentioned. Uh, yeah, Pennsylvania. Okay, rural Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska. Let me give you an example of the rural vote. This is important because in Minnesota, in when you compare the numbers of voters who voted for Romney in Minnesota in 2012 versus the people who voted for Trump in Minnesota in 2016, it's very interesting when you look at those numbers because something interesting happened. When Romney got votes in Minnesota, it was primarily concentrated in the bigger counties, like the more populated areas. So he got a lot of votes in a little area. There are 83 additional counties that Romney didn't really do well in. Trump did well in the bigger counties, and then he did really well, like 10 times the vote in those 83 counties than Romney did. And in 2016, he didn't win Minnesota, but that's a very good sign. And I feel like he's going to take Minnesota based on those numbers and those statistics. If he wins Minnesota, he can still lose Pennsylvania. He can lose Pennsylvania and still win. Just FYI. I don't think he is going to lose Pennsylvania. Kelly says her inside source says we got this. Now the fight is against voter fraud on the Dem side. Yeah, the biggest fight here is that the biggest fight is against the delays, delay, and the Patriots must vote tomorrow no matter what. We have to flood the zone, guys. This is one of those games where if you've ever watched a basketball game where where the winning team just keeps scoring and scoring and scoring and scoring and scoring, and the losing team is barely scoring at all. And sometimes people get a little bit irritated and they think, oh gosh, maybe we shouldn't have been so hard on them. This is not that situation. We're in a situation where we have to pummel these people into the ground. We have to grind them to dust. I don't care if we outscore them 500 to 1. Don't stop, right? Bring a chair and a book. Make sure you're ready to get your vote in no matter what. I don't care if you have to crawl across broken glass through a sea of the COVID virus to get to your polling place. Make sure you get there and that you cast your vote. All right. Have that kind of resolve. Don't give up. Now, the people who are used to waiting in long lines to go to the Trump rally, that's the mindset that you need to adopt. It doesn't matter how long it takes. You're going to get there. So imagine that you're going to see the president, because that's what you're doing. You're going to see his name on that ballot, and that is what really counts. Showing up that day to put your mark on that ballot with your president's name on it, that is more important than going to any rally. All right. Now, somebody said, my brother in law is a roughneck, works on oil rigs, and is voting for the first time tomorrow. Please tell me he's voting for Trump. I think he is. Okay. So, what else? Now, let me tell you what I think the Dems have done to themselves. They have they have scared themselves. They have created so much fear around. They have created so much fear around the virus that they have shot themselves in the foot, because their people are afraid to leave the house. And the president drove home the point that people should not do mail in voting. Don't vote by mail. Don't vote by mail. Don't vote by mail. And so, what happens to Democrats when the president tells them something? What do they do? If the president tells you to do something, you do the opposite, right? And if the president tells everybody, don't vote by mail, what are the Democrats going to run out and do automatically? They going to vote by mail. All right. So that's what they did. Okay. So why does that matter? Well, they were counting on running out the clock. They were counting on running out the clock and pushing the count days and days and days, or even weeks or months beyond tomorrow. The president is not letting them do this, not letting them do it. Not going to happen. We have lawyers on standby. We have been taking them to court. The president wants to challenge the Supreme Court ruling that allowed North Carolina to count those votes, those mail in votes, for 9 extra days. And so we're not backing off. We're not backing off on this. So you've got two things at play here. They all voted by mail, a lot of them, because they thought it was too dangerous to leave the house, even though they'll spend all day at Hobby Lobby, not Hobby Lobby, at Home Goods or Lowe's, right? Um, so you've got that, and then you've got them, voting by mail en masse, and the Democrats counting on stealing it by running out the clock. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We're not going to let them do it. It's not going to do it. And we know that the president is going to win this. We know. We know it. Yeah. And yeah, you get your vote in tomorrow. Yeah, we're not doing extra days. We're not doing that. Somebody said, if you are disabled and you can't stand in line and spend all that time out there, what I recommend is that you do drive up voting. It's not ideal, but this is what I did with my friend the other day. So she is disabled. She has a mobility scooter, and so she couldn't get into the polls because, believe it or not, her polling place was not even remotely set up for handicap access. I mean, that right there, we actually, we should report that. If you're still listening, we should mail that in. We should actually, you should write that to the the website and tell them that that location was not accessible. It wasn't remotely accessible. And so what we did is we went together. You call when you get there, they come out and bring your ballot, and you do it from the car. And so what I did was, she filled in her ballot, and then I walked it in, and I acted all innocent, and I was like, hey, I just want to watch you. I just want to put this in for her. And yeah, so technically I wasn't supposed to do that, but I was like, yeah, I just want to see it go in the thing, and I want a receipt. She wants a receipt. My friend wants a receipt. And they said, we don't give receipts, but they were kind of flabbergasted. They were like, I said, well, you can do it here. I just want to watch you. And they were like, no, I can't look at it. And so I just walked in. I was like, okay, thanks. And so that's what we did. We just sort of surprised him. So if you can do that, maybe try that. Yeah. And make sure you vote down the ballot. Make sure you vote for Congress and Senate in your state. North Carolina, you've got a governor on the ballot. You've got Dan Forrest on the ballot. I met him today. Really good guy. He is MAGA. He is totally in favor of preserving and restoring your individual rights. He also told me that that he is going to immediately turn back and exonerate any infractions or convictions that people got over COVID. So, business owners in North Carolina, if you have been harassed by the government because of COVID, if you've had to pay fines, if you've gotten cited, Dan Forrest told me that he is going to immediately exonerate and reverse all of those convictions and whatever you call them, violations. So, yeah, that was very good. I mean, he was really, really on top of it. Really good guy. Met him, met his wife. He had his whole family there today. I met Tillis too. He's running for reelection. But so just make sure that you turn out in North Carolina and vote for Dan Forrest. It's really important. If you want your freedom back, vote him in because Cooper is not going to help you. He's going to keep you locked down forever. Uh, yeah. Okay. So I think that's it. Is there anything else? Any other questions? Any other questions about voting? I feel like this was really good. Hopefully, I helped you. I want you to be encouraged. Oh, here's something that Kat Kerr said. This is important. So when you go into the ballot box, when you go into the polling place to cast your vote as a Christian, you carry an anointing for peace and truth and light. And you are able to impart that and to pray over the voting booth. And so you can actually lay hands on the voting booth and pray for the anointing because that the anointing breaks the yoke of slavery that people are under in their minds. Okay. So do that. Pray a blessing. Pray for the anointing to fall on that voting booth so that people who come in after you will be hit by the presence of God and maybe their minds will be changed and the deception that they're under will be broken. So think about that. That's what Kat Kerr was talking about. Really important. Yeah. Somebody said, okay, don't tell anyone who you're voting for if asked. I think that's a violation. Ask for another ballot if there are any marks on your ballot. Okay, that's true. If there are any marks, anything written, any check marks, anything written on your ballot, give it back and ask for a different one. Make sure you do that. That's important. All right, what else did I want to tell you? Is there anything I missed? Anything I left out? What did I leave out here? Hey, George. Um, Great. I have chills on my body. Pray for anointed voting. Yeah, isn't that a great idea? If you haven't been listening to Kat Kerr with Steve Schultz on Elijah Streams, they have been broadcasting live every day and giving very encouraging words about this election. And so I think that it's really important to go listen to that because there are a lot of doomsday people out there telling you that the whole country is going to dissolve into chaos, that our nation is going to be on fire, that they're going to try to drag the president from the White House, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't see that happening. The president is in charge, so and God is with us. He is God's man for this hour. So it's important for you to be in agreement with that. Don't agree with these doomsday prophets about what's going to happen to our country. Um, Arlene says, pray for those working in the polls. Most of us are working 14 hours tomorrow. Yeah, be happy and full of joy. Exactly. Even if you have to wait a long time, you go in with a smile on your face. Anointed voting is where, as a Christian, you're able to pray over the area that you're in. You're able to pray over the voting booth. You're able to pass on the anointing that is in you as a Christian, as a believer. Okay, and you're able to impart that, and so that people who come after you have have a sense of the presence of God. You can also pray for angels to stand guard over the voting, over the precincts, and over the voting machines. They will do that. All right. Um, so that's what that means. It's biblical. Okay. Um, yeah. So America, Trump. Yeah. All right. What else? What else? What else was I going to say? Okay, somebody asked if there are barriers at the White House. Let me just tell you the perimeter around the White House is the perimeter around the White House is um, the perimeter is widened. If you've been, I showed you a video. Okay, thanks for being here, Dana. Okay, I showed you a video a couple weeks ago from when I was in DC of how hard it is to get onto the White House grounds. All right. There's a perimeter around the White House. So when you see these videos of Antifa like pulling on the fence and trying to scale the fence and that kind of thing, where it looks like it's doom and gloom and everybody's going to storm the White House, that is like uh, fear porn. That they're not going to get onto the White House grounds. They're not getting into the West Wing. Just believe me on this. That's not going to happen. There are so many ways that they're going to be stopped before they get even 500 yards from where the president is. That's just not going to happen. They're not going to go drag him out of the White House. They're not going to go set the White House on fire. They're not going to do any of that. I don't know about um, I don't know about the fence. I don't think that's happening. I don't. But if I go tomorrow, I'll try to tell you. Um, yeah. So yeah. Do we have a troll in the YouTube? Yeah, the White House is well fortified. Yeah, it is. It's fine. Yeah, they don't need to build another fence. They don't. I mean, it's just, and they have snipers everywhere, you guys. They are erecting a barrier that can't be climbed tonight. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I mean, if I see it, I'll tell you. I'll show you. But I don't know. Do you know that for sure? Have you seen it? Madison Chill? I don't know. Let me see if somebody's trolling us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Larry says, yes, they're putting up unscalable fences. Okay, Larry saw it. Okay. Okay. All right. Do you hear Barley? All right. I think the YouTube chat is okay. There are multiple fences now. There's also a large one be put up in the back. They're ready. Yeah. So don't worry about that. Okay, who should we watch on TV for poll numbers? I would watch One America News or Real America's Voice. So you can get One America News on Cloud TV, KLOWD TV, or if you go to their website, One America News, OANN, you can find out where they are on Dish and cable. They're going to be accurate. I would watch, believe it or not, Politico does a pretty good job of updating election results, and the New York Times, believe it or not, at least At least last time they did. They've all kind of gone crazy. So I don't know if for sure they're going to be doing accurate reporting. I would also follow Larry Schweikert on Twitter. Who else, guys? You can also go to the actual election, the Secretary of State website for your state, because they will update the numbers on their websites. Now they're not all are as fast as others, but that's one place to look to. All right. So I think I'm gonna go because I may have a busy day tomorrow. I may be in DC tomorrow night. I don't know yet. You guys can pray about that. Um, and and we'll see. So if that happens, I most likely will not broadcast at my regular 5 o'clock time. We're just gonna have to play it by ear and see what happens. Everything is in flux right now, so I'll try to keep you guys posted. And so David Barton on CBN. Okay, so somebody said CBN. I hadn't thought about that. Okay, so CBN. That's a good one. Okay. Now, keep your spirits up. Be positive. We are partnering with heaven. We are partnering with God. The Almighty God is with our president. We are not losing. Our country is not going to dissolve into civil war. We are having a victory. We're celebrating the victory right now because our president is winning. All right. So don't worry. Don't worry. He has the angel armies around him. Okay. So I'm not as familiar with Newsmax. That might be a good source. If anybody can weigh in on that, go ahead. I know One America News is going to be reliable. I know that Real America's Voice is going to be reliable. And somebody said Bannon's War Room. So Bannon is carried through Real America's Voice. So I think he should be okay. All right. Yes. So we're all winning. Now, don't forget, write to me if you want to get a voucher to get your superfoods, to get $100 or more off of your superfoods. You need to stay healthy. You need to get your body healthy, your mind healthy, put good food in your body. If you're busy, if you're on the go and you need really good meal replacements, I'm your source. Real organic superfoods, no GMOs, right here in the USA, delivered to your door. And so you can get your voucher for $100 or more off of a whole month's supply. info@marygracemedia.com. You can also partner with the show at marygracemedia.com. Click on support, or you can email me for my Venmo link, info@marygracemedia.com. And what else? You can also buy the superfoods. Yeah. Okay, Michelle just put up a link about the unscalable fence. Okay, perfect. Yeah. All right, guys. I think that's it. I've been on for an hour. Can you believe it? Check out Bannon's 11 o'clock show at 22:15. Anne Marie, what do you mean? Are you talking about his show from today or what? The joy of the Lord is our strength. Exactly. Yeah. All right. That's it, guys. Be blessed. Be at peace. Please go back and listen to the Kat Kerr shows on Elijah Streams on YouTube. It's very encouraging. Go back and listen to it. She talks about heaven. She talks about what God is saying. She talks about the positive, wonderful things that God is doing. And so don't let yourself worry. The Bible commands you, do not worry. And this is important right now because it's tempting. It's tempting to worry. Don't worry. We got this. And I think we even got California. So have a good night, everybody. Thank you for being here.